Hi, everybody. Give us just a few minutes to get everything going. Alrighty. Present full screen. All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Frontera's YouTube channel. I am Felicia Farley, Marketing and Fundraising Coordinator. And with me today, I have Krista Bopp, our licensed professional counselor, as well as licensed chemical dependency counselor. My apologies. Today, we have a short presentation for you on understanding attachment styles, followed by a live Q&A with Krista, where you may ask her any questions you may have. If you're unsure as to whether or not you're watching live, look to the top corner of your screen, and if you see the red live icon, there we are live. If you're not, you're viewing the replay, but you can still drop questions or comments in the chat and we'll get back to you. Wellness Uncorked is brought to you in partnership with the Texas Wine Auction and Frontera Healthcare Network. With grant funding from the Texas Wine Auction, we have been able to launch this initiative program to bring free group counseling classes, educational seminars, health fairs, and more to individuals who work within the hospitality, service, and retail industries, as well as their families. At this time, I'm going to turn the show over to Krista so we can get started.
Okay, hi, my name is Krista Bopp. Again, I'm a licensed professional counselor and a licensed chemical dependency counselor. I do a lot of group work, and in my group work, one of my most popular groups is attachment styles. Attachment styles, and I'm going to kind of begin where it all began. Attachment theory originated with the work of John Bowlby and actually Mary Ainsworth as well. It is a psychological and evolutionary type of theory that provides a descriptive and explanatory framework for understanding how we relate to individuals and how we perceive the world. Go ahead. So attachment styles kind of begins with the big six, okay? So initially, it was assumed that adult attachment styles were primarily a product of your upbringing. So it was hypothesized that your current attachment style was determined by the way you were cared for as a baby. Today, however, we have grown to understand that adult attachment is influenced by a variety of factors. First, the big six. So the big six is what every child needs from their parents. And this happens between 0 and 1 year. So it's not like we have any cognitive memories of it, but how we were made to feel can certainly influence what we search for in the years after that. So the first one is attunement. Attunement is where your parents attuned to you and knew what you were feeling. The second is responsiveness. When you were in distress, when you were mad, afraid, or sad, did your parents respond to you? Did they offer comfort, care, and kindness? Engagement. Did your parents have an internal intention or a genuine desire to get to know you? And did they truly know you? And did they also engage with you like on a heart level? Number 4, the ability to regulate your arousal. Arousal refers to the bodily sensations you feel inside of you during moments of distress. If your mother or your primary caregiver was attuned enough to you and willing to respond to you and engage with you, then they were probably able to effectively regulate you. Number 5, were they strong enough to handle your negative emotions? Did your parents welcome your anger, sadness, and fear? As a child, were you free to express your negative emotions, to cry, rage, or fall silent? Did your parents communicate that those emotions were somehow bad, or did they make you feel guilty about having them? All this type of support or lack thereof created your attachment style. And then number 6, willingness to repair. When your parents hurt you, did they own and try to rectify the harm that was done? A healthy, trusting attachment is not built on the absence or failure, but on the willingness of the parent to own and rectify when those things occur. So, what we need to understand is with this big 6, you were kind of set up for what possible attachment style you were probably going to gravitate to as you got a little bit older and started building relationships with others. So oftentimes, codependency gets confused with insecure attachment. So codependency is, as it says here, excessive emotional or psychological reliance on a partner, typically one who requires support on account of an illness or addiction, mostly one side and very enabling. Just because you depend on someone doesn't mean that you are codependent. So I always pose this. I'm like, when you're growing up and you depend on your parents for food, shelter, support, that does not make you codependent. You were supposed to be dependent on each other. I depended on Felicia to show up today and help get this whole YouTube thing started so that I could go ahead and come on and do this with you today. That doesn't mean that I'm codependent on Felicia. It just means I depended on her to do her part so then I could do mine. Today's experts offer advice that goes something like this. Your happiness is something that should come from within and should not be dependent on your lover or your mate. You should not be dependent. Your well being is not their responsibility, and theirs is not yours. Each person needs to look after himself or herself. You should not allow your inner peace to be disrupted by a person or the absence of a person. So there are 4 types of attachment styles. And if you're wondering, which one am I have a link that you can click on there and actually take a quiz. Most of the information that I have comes from this book right here called Attached, The New Science of Adult Attachment and How It Can Help You Find and Keep Love. If you notice, it is so dirty and so, I have been using this book for a long time by Amir Levine and Rachel Heller. They created this book. This book is more for the understanding of attachment with regard to romantic relationships and a partner. I also use information from the Attachment Theory Workbook. This one actually has actual quizzes in it that you can take. Knowing your attachment style, I want you to understand, is not a death sentence. Okay, it is not, oh geez, I'm this is who I am forever. We do tend to find ourselves in either an anxious or preoccupied or avoidant dismissive type of attachment, but we can always work toward more secure. But we have to understand what we are, why we are, and how we are, that attachment style. And then once we do, we can work on getting ourselves more towards securely attached. To be securely attached just means that you feel good about who you are, what you do, how you feel about things, and you are okay with the relationships that you have. And you're not searching for that validation or understanding or avoiding people because you don't know how to maintain or build a relationship with them. The one there, disorganized, is it's one that is, I wouldn't say new. I'd say in the past decade it's been talked about a lot more. The disorganized attached is kind of a combination of anxious and avoidant, but kind of changing depending on the situation that you're in. So disorganized is I would say, probably the one that is the hardest to move to secure because it has so many nuances about it and so many integral parts that it's more difficult to move toward the secure. The anxious, which most of us are, and the avoidant there are like things that you can practice to help yourself to move toward the secure more and more as you work on yourself. So the golden rules for deciphering attachment styles of a partner. So in the last slide, we were trying to figure out which one are we. If we are going to get together with a partner or even a coworker or anyone, okay, to determine someone else's attachment styles, and not asking them to take a quiz, right? There's 5 ways you can do this. One, determine whether he or she seeks intimacy or closeness. Number 2, assess how preoccupied he or she is with the relationship and how sensitive they are to rejection. Do they only have one symptom, or do they look for various symptoms? I'm sorry, don't rely on one symptom. Look for various symptoms that kind of lead you to think, oh, they seem a little more avoidant, or oh, they seem a little insecure. Assess their reaction to effective communication when you try to reach out and talk to them. How do they respond? And listen and look for what he or she is not saying or doing, not just what they are saying. Communication of what you need is most important here. They say in this book here and attached, you're only as needy as your unmet needs. How you communicate your needs is very important. And then finally, the 5 principles of effective communication in relationships. I believe that these 5 things can help you to get what you need, and you need to make sure that you are consistently doing them. Number 1, wear your heart on your sleeve. Vulnerability. You need to be genuine and vulnerable all the time with what it is that you feel and need. Number 2, focus on your needs. Don't make excuses to not put yourself first or feel that what you feel is important. It absolutely is, and you need to focus on it. Number 3, be specific. The more specific you are with what you need, the quicker you'll get it. Number 4, don't blame. Don't blame others for not knowing, and don't blame yourself for not communicating it well enough. Try to just work on getting to the heart of it and not playing the blame game. And number 5, be assertive and non-apologetic. You have to understand that just because you need something, like your hand being held when you're walking down the street with someone, don't apologize for needing that. It's what you need. And we all need different things. We don't need to feel guilty about what we need. Thank you all. This was so much fun to actually create for you today. And if you want more information, I am happy to give it to you. I have so much more than just what these books have offered me, and I've done more and more research. I love attachment theory, and I would love to talk to you personally about any questions that you might have.
All righty. Thank you so much, Krista, for being our presenter today.
Sure.
If anybody has any questions, please drop them in the chat now, and we will take your questions. If you like what you heard today or have a request for a future topic, please feel free to leave your comments in the chat as well. We would love to hear from you. And are you ready to bring your mental health? Are you ready to begin your mental health journey? If you'd like further information on the Wellness Uncorked program, or to schedule an appointment with one of our licensed professional counselors like Krista, please contact us by calling 325-597-0102 or visit fronterahn.org. Frontera offers counseling services in person and virtually. As always, please subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you never miss a notification of when we go live, and learn more about the importance of mental health. All right. Rosanna, we see your comment. Yes, ma'am, we will put the link to the quiz and to the books that Krista spoke about in the comments following the live. All righty. Exit here. All right.
Almost has to be like. It's your turn.